Hello and thank you for joining me for today's video. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia. This is the card that we're going to be making today. The supplies that I've used in this card, I've used the Art Gallery stamp set with the matching Floral Gallery dies. I've also used the detailed butterflies from the Butterfly Bouquet stamp set. That's the new one that's going to be coming in the new annual catalogue that's on pre-order at the moment. And I've cut these butterflies out of Hydrangea Hill DSP. That's what it actually looks like. It's got the hydrangeas on it, but when you put your butterflies down, depending on where it is on the paper, you're going to get the different butterflies coming through in those cuts. I've also used the Natural Touch Specialty paper, which is another element in the Butterfly Bouquet suite. Right, let's get stamping. I'm going to stamp directly onto the DSP. So starting with the leaves in Garden Green. Now we're stamping the solid flower in Poppy Parade. Now here's a tip for you. This DSP is smooth and shiny. I think it's got some kind of a coating on it. So it does take a while for the ink to dry. So be sure to give time for that ink to dry and make sure that your hands aren't wet, because until this ink is properly dry, if you touch it or your hands are wet, that ink will smudge. While I'm letting that dry, I'm going to stamp my insert for the card. All good. And the last thing that I need to stamp is my sentiment. I'm going to stamp that in soft suede. Just on a scrap of paper. This is going to be pretty small. And when you die cut this, cut out your sentiment and an extra piece in soft suede. There we go. That should have given time for our ink to dry. The next thing we're going to do is get a little bit messy. I'm going to be working with the gilded leafing. I've emptied it out of the tub that it came into a bigger container. This spreads all over and doesn't like going back into its original container, so work with something where you've got lots of room to spread. Now we're taking the accent flower from the stamp set and I'm going to lightly ink it up with the Versamark and then stamp down and again over the second flower. Now I'm taking my heat and stick powder and we're going to throw it over the Versamark exactly the same as I would have done with embossing powder. And flick off the excess. Now I'm going to heat that, and then once the glue is melty and hot, we're going to put the gilded leafing onto that. So picking it up, just press it over your heat and stick while it's hot, so that it's going to stick. And then with a sponge, you're going to gently wipe off the excess. So it's not going to stick all over, and you're never going to get it 100% the same every time, but that's okay. It's just giving, I guess, depends on how hard you've stamped your Versamark and where the leafing is sticking. Once you're putting it on. And make sure you don't drop the leafing because it goes all over and makes a great big mess. So that's most of the work on the card done. Going to take our card base and I'm going to attach my DSP. The DSP is curling up a little bit because of the heat. This is fairly thin DSP, so it is soft and lovely, but it can't stand up to as much, I'm going to say, abuse as the normal thicker DSP. My little butterflies. You can put the butterflies wherever you like, really. I'm going to put one flying up over there. And then want to position my sentiment before I put the other butterfly down. And for this card, I just put them that the one was peeping out of the other. I think what I'm going to do is put it slightly over to the side as well, just for a little bit of difference. And dimensionals on the back to pop that sentiment up. That butterfly's going to go over there. So I just put a little bit of glue on the back of the butterfly. I'm quite happy for the wings to float around a bit and not actually be stuck down, but just don't want to be going too far over the top of the card, because then that's going to get squashed when we put it into an envelope. the insert into the inside where it belongs. Just want to see if any of that gold is a little bit loose. And that's our card. Relatively easy. Just be sure that you give the stamping time to dry on the DSP, like I said earlier, otherwise it is going to smudge, and that's pretty devastating once you've done all the work and then you've got the smear across the front of the card. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will see you next time. Bye.